Hi, this is Linda Onemefor here, and I welcome you to another episode of the Networking Series. It's Linda Onemefor, and if it is your first time coming to my channel, hit that subscribe button as well as the bell to get a notification when the next value drops. And if it's your first time watching me on Facebook Live, click on that follow button because that is one of the best decisions you're going to make in your life this year and beyond. Now, if you have someone who deals with low self-esteem or struggle with how to skyrocket my confidence, already I have confidence in myself, but the environment around me that are toxic are those one of the major things that have made me to lose my self-confidence. Those things happen. Toxic environment, maybe in your workplace, in your home, or whatever place you find yourself that is very toxic, can deal with your self-confidence. And that is why we want you to be able to learn how you can be able to skyrocket this, even in that toxic environment. Are you ready for this? Now, if you know someone who needs to be here, gather them around here because their life is about to change by copying the link to this channel, all right, to them, so that they can be able to gain from this particular series, because the envy is less when everyone is succeeding. And of course, if you know someone as well who needs to be here, tag them in the comment section as well, so they can be able to benefit from what you are learning here today. Are you ready, ladies and gentlemen? This is how you skyrocket your confidence. There are a lot of workplaces now knows how to tell a lot, use condescending words, right, to be able to talk down on people's confidence, talk down on their self-esteem. You don't know how to do this, you don't know how to do that, you are so incompetent, you are not good in this, and yet you have been in the workplace 2 years, 3 years, half a decade, and they are still telling you the same thing. See, let me tell you the honest truth. No matter how much people are paying you to actually be in that kind of environment, it is very more expensive to trade your peace for it. Your peace is so very priceless to trade it for, no matter the amount of money. If they're paying you $100 million, it's not worth your peace, right? So you don't want to be in an environment where you be tolerated. You want to be in an environment where you be celebrated. Everything you do, because they pay you that sum of money. And most of the time, it is people who do not even pay at all. They are the worst part of all of these things that count into the minds of the people and let them know that they are very useless. Yet they are still in that office, regardless of the fact that they are very useful. And they tell you all of these things to feel less, or to make themselves feel like the boss, or to make themselves feel like, intimidate you with a lot of things, when you are actually contributing a lot of value in that particular workplace, in that particular circle, in that particular environment. Now, this is how you can be able to do this. A lot of persons might have told you that, you know, being tolerant is always a way to show that you are respectful. No, sir. Today, you are going to learn something very unique, something very profound that no one has ever told you. Being tolerant, right, especially to those your leaders, and in an environment that is not very so intimate, right, with your family or maybe your love relationship or whatever it is, being tolerant is not always being respectful. What else is being respectful? Being respectful is also speaking up against the things that you don't want in your life, or the things that you don't like in your life, politely. Type that in the comments. It's also being respectful if you speak up to those sets of persons that are using condescending words to be able to deal with your self-esteem or deal with your confidence. Trust me, a lot of people run away from difficult conversation, and that is what has made them to have low self-esteem. They grow that low self-esteem to a point that they don't even believe anymore in themselves, regardless of the fact that they have a lot of value right inside of them. But because of their kind of environment, they are not confident enough to be able to express that value enough, because they think that there is no need. Nobody is going to appreciate them. Nobody is going to do this. So of what use should I be able to do this? No, it is time to stop. Being tolerant is not always being respectful. It is also respectful to politely speak up against something that you don't like, against something that is taking your peace away, against something that is taking your self-esteem away, against something that is going to talk down on you all the time. It is okay to make mistakes. Mistakes are not fatal. There is a way to correct a mistake. right? For instance, there are a lot of people, like I always say, a lot of people are so quick to complain rather than compliment. They will see you when you do great things, but when you do it wrong, they will make you feel like you never do anything right. That kind of environment is very toxic. It is a lot of negative energy that you don't need, that will not help your self-confidence, because anything that deals with your self-confidence, anything that deals with your self-esteem is actually dealing with you. So you need to come out of that place, and you have to really be very unapologetic about it and respectfully speaking. I use the word respectfully speaking, and I use the word politely. You can do this, and because you have a lot of value for yourself, that's why you should be able to do that politely. So instead of tolerating always people talking down on you, people making you feel like you don't have value, people making you feel like you don't deserve it, or people who are making you feel like whatever you do does not work, trust me, my dear, it is time to actually speak up against those words. It is time to actually own up and begin to speak up for yourself. It is time to speak up. Trust me, the moment you have that difficult conversation, the moment you speak up, your self-confidence will skyrocket. Try it. I dare you, try it. You have to be audacious. And that's where, when you now have that audacity, right, of course you are going to confront that conversation. That's why it takes a lot of confidence to go into negotiation table, because a lot of things are going to, a lot of objections are there. That's why a lot of people have fears in selling, because they don't want to be rejected. They don't want to be they don't want to make them feel like, oh, you are bugging them, you are stalking them, you are doing all of those things. But you have to be audacious enough to grow your confidence, because confidence is not grown in convenience. It is inconvenient to actually grow confidence. So that is what you have to do. So be bold enough and do it afraid. Trust me, some things are going to change. And when people begin to know that you know what you want, they will actually give you your respect back. And then another thing that adds to this is what I call a key value of what I call integrity. Integrity is simply doing what you say and saying what you do. Saying what you do and doing what you say. It's as simple as that. Not when you speak up today, tomorrow you backslide, you start doing something that is contrary to what you have said. They will not take you serious. And as a matter of fact, it will get worse. So that integrity as a backup or as a follow-up to that particular audacious conversation that you were able to deal with is very key. So you have to be able to use what I call the key value of integrity, to be able to stand on what you say. It is when you stand on what you say that is what we call maintaining standards. So you stand on what you say and do as you have said. That is you maintaining standard. And when people see that you have your standard, they will respect your boundaries. That is how you begin to grow in a toxic, that's how you thrive in a toxic environment. So whatever that is going on around there, when they come into your space, they work with your standard. They work with the way you work. It takes a lot of audacity to do this. And for you as a first timer, you have to do it afraid. You have to be afraid to do it in the first place. Because if you are not, right? If you're not afraid, of course, you could have been doing it over time. And if you want to get over it, you need to get used to it. Right? So do it afraid today. Do it afraid. That's the message. Do it afraid. And of course, after that experience, the next side of this particular conversation, you will witness a quantum leap in your confidence level. I hope you were able to gain one or two from here. And never forget that you shouldn't be slow to do all of these things. The more you accumulate those things, in your later life, you will have emotional trauma. You have a lot of sicknesses that those people will no longer be there to care about. They don't really care about all of those things. You will be the one to suffer the pain. And you don't want that for your dear future. Because the income or the profit or whatever wealth you are building is not for the hospital. Right? Is that okay? And your health is wealth. Never you forget that. So you need to be mentally sane to be able to be in that. That is why building a strategic network or relationship is very, very key. You don't want to be in a toxic environment for a long time. It's going to tell a lot about your person. You don't want to be in a space whereby you are tolerated instead of being celebrated for your values. That your value is worth to be celebrated about. People who don't celebrate it do not worth it. That is why if you are building an audience, you should be able to build audience that recognize, appreciate, and can reward your value. If they can't do all of these things, you are in the wrong environment. You are in the wrong association. You are in the wrong circle. Get out of that place and unapologetically do that. What is going to cost you, of course, life is all about taking risk. You need to take that risk to be able to get to the other side of greatness. And of course, it takes a lot of audacity beyond what I say. Of course, this is what we do every day. People management, relationship is what we encounter every day. And then if you're that kind of person that always talk down on people, today is another day for you to change, because a lot of result that you seek around you might be just because of that one act. The moment you begin to see good in people, a lot of things can change for you. A lot of things are going to change, because when people see that you can see their good in them, they can open up their heart to get the result that you desire for you. They will open up their heart to go out of their way to do things for you. So today is that day for you to change. Right? It is that day for you to make up your mind, decide for a transformation to happen all around you based on the transformation that you encounter personally on yourself. And don't forget, your net worth determines your network. Not your network is your net worth. Right? It is your net worth that determines your network. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you want to have a one-on-one conversation, click the link on my description in this channel. Or if you're watching me live on Facebook, click the link on my bio, and of course we get you started. Don't forget that we are building confident global champions, and these emerging leaders are building strong self-esteem and strategic networks to actually thrive in their unique space. They are confident collaborators, and they are working on themselves with the resources we provide in the platform for global relevance. Trust me, you are relevant, you are useful, and that's why they want to use you, because you are useful. But you cannot entertain to be abused or misused, and that is why you need to speak up, and that is why you need to do it afraid. Till I come your way again, I still remain your friend and your go to get networking strategist, Linda Onemefo. Bye for now.